You know that moment in movies where everything slows down and you hear your own heartbeat in your ears? That happened to me while I was in a hospital bed, mid-contraction, and I looked over to see my husband, swiping through Tinder like he was bored at a coffee shop. Yeah, that's where we're starting today. By the way, where are you watching from and what time is it right now? I love seeing where all of you are tuning in from. So let me back up, because this story, oh, it's got layers. I met Aaron 7 years ago. I was 26, he was 30, and we met at a mutual friend's wedding. You know that cliche rom-com moment where two people lock eyes across the dance floor? Yeah, that actually happened. Except real life didn't stay so magical. Aaron was charming, effortlessly confident. He had this way of making you feel like you were the only person in the room. A little cocky? Sure. But it was part of the appeal back then. He worked in marketing, real smooth talker, and I was working as a school counselor. Very different worlds, but we clicked. Fast forward 5 years later, married, house in the suburbs, pregnant with our first child. Everything looked perfect on paper. We'd post our brunch photos, our vacations, our just because flower deliveries. People would comment, "You two are goals." And I'd smile, thinking, yeah, we are. But behind all of that, there were cracks. Little things. Aaron would get annoyed when I asked for help around the house. He'd scroll on his phone during dinner. Sometimes I'd catch him checking out other women a little too long when we were out. I'd bring it up. He'd call me paranoid, said I was getting hormonal. Anyway, I was 8.5 months pregnant when I noticed he started staying up late, like 2 a.m. kinda late. I'd hear him in the living room, pacing, whispering into his AirPods. I asked what was going on, and he said he was just stressed about work. So I let it go. I mean, I was waddling around like a penguin. I didn't have the energy to chase ghosts. But then, the night I went into labor, that's when everything changed. It was 3:17 a.m. I remember that because I looked at the clock when the first real contraction hit. Not Braxton Hicks, the real kind. Like my whole lower body was being twisted in a vice. We rushed to the hospital. I'm in pain, nervous, excited, all the emotions. I'm gripping Aaron's hand, breathing through the contractions, trying to focus. He's calm, too calm. He kept checking his phone between contractions. I thought, okay, maybe he's texting family, letting them know what's happening. I couldn't have been more wrong. 3 hours in, epidural's kicking in. I'm finally lying back, trying to rest. Aaron goes, "I'm just gonna step out for a second and grab a coffee." I nod, half asleep. But then, he leaves his phone on the chair. Now, look, I don't make a habit of snooping, but something in my gut said, check it. And that gut, she never lies. I open the phone. No passcode. He always said he had nothing to hide. I see a notification from Tinder. Yes, Tinder. Like swipe right Tinder. I opened it, and there it was. His profile, full blown. Pictures of him alone, smiling like he's a bachelor on vacation. The bio? Marketing exec, recently navigating a new chapter in life. Love good conversation, whiskey, and strong women. A new chapter? He listed himself as single. Single. I couldn't believe it. I'm sitting in a hospital bed, swollen and exhausted, trying to bring our child into the world, and this man is out here swiping on strangers like he's auditioning for The Bachelor. My hands were shaking. I screenshotted everything. His profile, the messages, even the app icon placement on his phone screen. I airdropped them to myself. Then I waited. 10 minutes later, he walks back in holding a coffee and a muffin like he's the world's most supportive husband. I said, "Hey babe, can you hand me my phone?" Super casual. He goes, "Yeah, of course." Then I hit him with it. "Cool. While you're at it, can you explain why you're on Tinder?" He froze, like completely blank. Then he laughs, tries to laugh it off, says it's a joke, a prank his coworker pulled. Said he let someone use his phone and they must have made a profile for fun. Sir, there are 7 selfies of you on this profile. Carefully cropped, chosen from our honeymoon. You think I was born yesterday? He kept scrambling, trying to dig himself out, but I was done listening. The nurse came in to check on me, and I just looked at her with tears in my eyes and said, "Can someone else be with me instead?" His face went pale. I told him to go out, right then and there. And he did. He left the hospital while I was in labor. My mom showed up 30 minutes later, held my hand through the entire delivery, cut the cord, told me I was stronger than I knew. And I believed her. Aaron didn't come back until the next day, showed up with flowers like that was going to erase everything. I told him to go home. And I meant his home, because I wasn't going back. In the days that followed, I found out the Tinder profile had been active for months. I reached out to one of the girls he messaged. She was sweet, actually. Said she didn't know he was married. Sent me screenshots. He told her I was his ex and that things ended because she didn't want kids. Can you imagine? I was literally pushing out his child when he was telling strangers that I didn't want one. I filed for divorce 2 weeks later. Didn't even flinch. He tried to fight me on custody, saying I was emotionally unstable, but between the screenshots, the hospital records, and his own damn Tinder profile, the judge saw right through him. Now, my baby is 1 year old. We're happy, safe, loved. I still think about that moment in the hospital sometimes. That betrayal while I was at my most vulnerable. It changed me, made me more cautious, more protective, but also it lit a fire in me. I don't let anyone make me feel small anymore. I share this story not because I want pity, but because I know someone out there is in love with a man who's making them feel crazy for asking simple questions, who gaslights them when they trust their gut. To you, you're not crazy. You're not overthinking. You're noticing. And don't let anyone convince you otherwise. So, what would you have done if you were me? Would you have confronted him right there in the hospital? Waited after? Let me know in the comments. I genuinely want to hear your take. And if you've been through something like this, you're not alone. We're stronger than we think. Always.